promised you everything was going to be. First time that you're seeing it for the visit. How about a brand new,
and this is brand new, exclusive,
one of a kind, gorgeous combination here. We are looking at peach stone and yellow. I want to make sure, because you know, let me put my glasses on here.
Bauhinia.
Bauhinia. That's kind of fun to say. All right, well, before I even get myself in trouble, you have to tell us about these.
I say Bauhinia.
Bauhinia?
Okay, it's potato. Some say Bauhinia. I say Bauhinia. So, you know, that's what I'm going to say, okay?
Okay.
Some people, they do everybody pronounces it different, but I think Bauhinia is the way you pronounce it. So.
Okay. Well, what is Bauhinia?
Bauhinia is.
Bauhinia.
It's a material. I mean, a form, and I've never, to tell you the truth, I've seen things that are close to this. Now, there's another material that's a serpentine that comes out of Korea that they call Korean jade. That's the only thing I've ever seen close to it, but it's more of like a greeny kind of thing. This is so unique and so different. It almost, to be honest with you, when I first bought this rough, we didn't know what it was. It looked too good to be true to me. Other than the fact that,
clean.
Well, other than the fact that when you know, I'm buying it in the rough. That's why I always bring rough for you guys to see, because this is where I start. I don't buy anything already pre-cut, right? Very, I mean, there might be 1/10 of 100% of something that I might buy, and I'll tell you if somebody else cut it. But if they cut it, I know who they are, and I've worked with them for years. But everything else, I don't trust anybody. I cut from the rough. Everything.
In-house with your team.
We don't, it's not farmed. We actually do it. I could show you, we have huge warehouses filled with material. And this is one of those materials, when I bought it and you cut it, it almost looks too good to be true, but it's natural. That's the way it is. There's no enhancement to this. This is what it is. It has it has this most unique color. Every time I see this, I know this sounds sad, right? But this reminds me, when I lived in Isla Morada in the Keys, for as much as I live anywhere, right? You know, I have several different homes, and I really live out of a suitcase. You know, in fact, my wife commented one day, she goes, "Why do we even bother? Well, she says, you're never home." Now, I don't know if she meant that sarcastically or not. So, but
in a good way or a bad way, but you're always traveling.
I have a lot of closets in a lot of locations, all right? But when I had a house in Isla Morada, back in the day, there used to be this place. It was the original, like with the key lime pies. But have you ever had the real ones? Well, you probably have. Yeah. They're only about maybe a 1/4 inch thick, half inch at the most. And they're this color.
Yes,
and
you're right.
They're not sugary. They're actually made from the limes. The reason I'm telling you this, is making me hungry, by the way, is that is the color of this. It's like real, true key lime pie color. Every time I see this, I have flashbacks to that. And then you've got that beautiful peach stone from Madagascar. And I have been trying to find this color. I got some of this. Remember, I think that even you and I had it. At one time, we got this one load out of Mongolia, and it was peach opal. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Remember that peach opal?
Oh.
We blew that out.
Gone in.
I have never, ever been able to get that again. When I saw this, when they first brought this to me, and I first looked at the rough, and we were looking at the mine, and we were looking at the material, I was sure, the hardness on this, everything, I was sure that this was a form of opal. It didn't come back as opal. It's got silicas in it, like opals do, so it has a lot of those characteristics, but you can't call it opal.
And going back to this unique combination and brand new, where in the world would you ever find natural stones to that color combination? Not only that, as I'm looking at this on Ingeborg's neckline, the fancy cut, the size of these stones, and going back, we don't have the rough here, but you can imagine taking, or the size you'd have to yield on the rough to get the shapes that you're showing here.
And these are all, you know, exactly, look at the big sizes, but you know, like Ingeborg, you check this out, right? Like when the camera goes to her right away, when you see her, what do, man? Your eyes
go right to the neck.
Boom, right there.
You're so
think about
right.
this. And I think that that's what's cool about Mine Finds, and is that You know, you've got something unique. You got something different.
Conversation pieces. People stop you in your footsteps.
Do you know, that's the biggest thing is I've been with people that have been wearing my designs, and they don't even know who I am. They don't even recognize me.
But you recognize them.
Which really makes me feel bad because they don't recognize me, but they'll come up and whoever I'm with and they'll say, oh my gosh, and they'll grab the necklace or they'll grab the bracelet and say, my God, what is that? Where did you get that and everything? And I'm just standing there like, what am I, chopped liver or something or what? No, but it's really true.
It's very true.
Is people are attracted, they're conversation pieces.
And this is a perfect example of that. Okay, very, very popular. Remember, 5 flex payments, all J. King for this visit. So that is actually expires at midnight tonight, and then buy more and save. So you only pay full price shipping and handling for your first J. King piece. Every other additional piece you add is gonna be half price shipping and handling. Okay, here's one of my other favorite brand new pieces.